And we are back with another War Section free-for-all match. Now this match, this match, I straight just, I take it in so many different ways. So this is again, free-for-all match, and there's a lot of people on, so I'm really happy. Now, I've been playing a lot of free-for-all matches, and I've been trying to get one that's really, just makes it gives me that rush of adrenaline, right? Because I've been wanting to play all these matches, but I've been barely getting that rush of adrenaline I've always wanted, and that's what I love about War Section. It just gives me like that rush of adrenaline, um, and I end up finding it in this match. So, and the reason is because I get attacked from two sides at once, up until industrial. Like it doesn't stop until I finally get industrial, and you're gonna see why. So immediately, I see there's these three people, and in every free for match I try to spear rush as much as possible. So you see me building up. I don't get my tempo up as fast as I want it to. Was it 5 minutes? Yeah. Oh, actually, no, wait, never mind. That's a lie. I did get it up. For some reason, okay, I don't pay. Sometimes I don't pay attention to time, but I guess look. Yeah, I usually get my tempo up in around like in free for all matches, around the 3-minute mark, or I'm sorry, the 5-minute mark. Anyway, so I said everyone who killed my scouts are going to die first. And Maurice was a funny guy. He says not bad. So immediately, it's this guy right here, light blue, pink, and green. They're the three. I had 3 scouts, and they killed all. And these people were the ones who killed my scouts. So immediately, I get a mass spearman. I get a little late getting a spearman, but it's okay. And I immediately come over and kill this guy. I then destroy all of his structures. And I immediately come after this guy. Now, okay, right here, I'm gonna stop here. So I don't realize that this guy also tried to do spears. Empty grid, or green. He also tries to do spears, and I realize, and I'm like, okay, well, this is not good. And something else I don't realize is the fact that he only has heavy spears, which means he's already in the Iron Age, whereas I am not. I'm still getting there. But this guy, he rushes heavy spears only, which is not a bad strategy. Doing heavy spears again, ever since they added, spears in the game, or I'm sorry, they removed the need for the upgrade. Everyone's been getting, heavy spears and stuff. So I end up going, both mix of heavy spearman and regular spearman, whereas he's just heavy. Oh, he does a few regular actually in there. So as you see, it's a massive catastrophe. I have a good territory. So does Red. Red has a good territory too. I do get medieval, and I quickly try to get these barracks upgraded. And also, for one more thing, I hurt on resources the entire game, mainly food. Food was my biggest issue throughout this game. And it's mainly because I was pumping out so many of the spearmen, and I went East Asia, and East Asia requires a ton of food. And I mean, just the sheer amount of food that East Asia especially needs, is just ridiculous sometimes. Anyway, so I upgrade these to medieval because I know that medieval, East Asian medieval spears are going to be way better. And you see they just completely just hammer through. And see, I just butchered him so much. I still have, a good portion of my army set up. 11, regular spears, and then 13 medieval. Meanwhile, this guy still has a lot of his own spears. He also went East Asian medieval, which was sort of good for me. I'm really glad, because if he went West Asia, it would have been a lot harder for me to bust through. But luckily, he goes East Asia. Meanwhile, this guy, he builds up a lot. Even though I could have taken him out way earlier, and that would have helped me a lot had I taken him out. But at the same time, this guy had built up a mass army of spears, and it would have been bad if I didn't take him out sooner. Anyway, I tried going, straight medieval spears. I tried, pushing as much as possible, as fast as I could, but it just doesn't work out as well as I want it to. So we're gonna speed up time. So I also get I get one stable. To try to get the horse. Try to get more cavalry. Meanwhile, this guy's the first to go, blue, because he got, 8 East Asian spear. Another East Asian spear rush. Now, I was betting a lot on having water nearby, and one of the main reasons I wanted to take this guy out was because he had this nice water source here. And actually, looking at it, he doesn't build any boats. This entire time I thought he'd build boats. Oh man, I could have taken over this whole... I should have built a dock here, actually. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna skip that right now. So I come over here, and I think I have this guy, and immediately, go in and destroy all of his barracks. But I don't kill as many of his workers as I want to. I should have pushed in more. And as you see, I try, destroying his houses so he can upgrade them. But it really, it was really annoying for me. Meanwhile, this guy over here, he sent in samurai. Now, the reason this guy sent in samurai, was because he was scouting my base to see what I had. He didn't realize that all my forces were over here and me and him were fighting. But I managed to kill the scout really quick. And he sends in another scout too. But this time he goes straight. Like, his strategy was really weird, but it would have been very effective had it just been me. And again, like, food was such an issue for me. I tried to get more and more workers on food, but it just throughout the entire game, food was a massive issue. Anyway, I tried to fix my problem by getting a rocket cannon. This rocket cannon is so inaccurate. It's so horrible to use. I really hate East Asian like artillery essentially, because it's all just bad. Like, the only good unit is their Springle, and that's only good for infantry. I don't know when this guy attacks. I forgot when, but I just know it's shortly after this. Because he does get to industrial before I do. Oh, I'm sorry, no, wait. Yeah, I think he does, actually. Anyway, I tried to go in for another attack with a Springald and a rocket cannon, but he destroyed one of my rocket cannons and the Springald. I tried using the Springald, but the Springald is so hard to use if you don't have, like, a lot of them, and they have to be, like, defended. I also get some cannoneers to try to help, alleviate my problem. But it was hard for me. Meanwhile, okay, yep, right here. This guy had a huge army of nothing but samurai, mainly samurai actually, just a few pikemen in there, Arshigarus. And then he brings in 4 Springolds. Now I don't know why he brought in 4 Springolds, because they have quite a low range. Remember, these things are mainly anti-infantry. Anyway, so he tries bring them back. I tried killing as many as I could, but like these samurai, especially with the upgrades, are just basically impenetrable. They have like 14 damage. But luckily I do manage to beat him back because I just like non-stop kept sending like waves at him, just spamming it for my barracks, and he ends up killing some of his own Springolds, as you can see. Meanwhile, this guy right here, green, kept sending horse archers at me. So here I am being insulted from 2 fronts, and I try to go after the Springolds too. Now, I'm not scared of the Springolds, but they're just really annoying. So right here, I have a lot of trouble with the horse archers, even though they don't do much. Like his horse archers barely do any damage to me. They're just like a constant annoyance. And again, this guy sends in another wave, this time with cannoneers. Now, he never uses these cannoneers to his full effectiveness. And at the same time, I'm also being assaulted from this. He's going to keep sending, you're going to see him keep sending horse archers at me. Again, this guy comes back, but this time I have a much greater force. And I don't go away from my tower, which again, one tower won't do much, but it's still more than having nothing. I do use my hand cannons to try to push him away, which does work. He runs back to his own territory. Meanwhile, this guy again is sending Ashigarus and horse archers again at me. But this time I finally get industrial, and this boar killed way more, like 6 kills with this boar. It was like this boar killed so many people. I didn't even know about it, but meanwhile, again, this guy's chasing me around. I immediately upgrade all my horses to mounted guardsmen because that's the only way to keep green from constantly sending these horse archers, because they're the only real counter. And again, he's attacking, and again, at the same time, I'm assaulted from my right. Now, luckily, I'm finally an industrial, and this guy's also an industrial. And I struggle so much, and I almost lose actually. And I struggle so much also in this age. But finally, I decided, you know what? I'm going to launch a full-on assault on this guy, and I do. I wipe him out because I know he's not industrial yet. So I try my best. I take, I take my, soldiers and just kamikaze them into these towers. And this guy doesn't attack me again throughout the entire ordeal until it's, I think, the very end. But meanwhile, I'm just constantly just assaulting this guy. Meanwhile, these two are doing nothing. So we'll just keep going. I ended up having to launch 3 different assaults on this guy because he had his towers were just really causing so much pain for me. And also my resources, my economy was not having it at all. Look how many, I have so many workers just gathering food, and really the only thing that was good was the metal. Honestly, that was the only resource that I wasn't short of. And I only had a handful of workers. Also, again, this guy does attack me again, but he only attacks with a few hand cannons, and I just take some mounted guardsmen and soldiers and immediately just kill them. It was so easy. But meanwhile, I launch another attack, but this time, I can't destroy TC because China, for some reason, China's soldiers can't destroy the TC with the explosive on them. So I ended up having to do the old old-fashioned way and just use my hand cannons to constantly just go after TC, which he does quit, thankfully. And I immediately want to take over this water because I desperately need food. As you see, my economy, which is so bad because China is so heavily focused on gathering food. If you don't have food, China is useless. Meanwhile, red and purple are duking it out, but I already know what happens here. Sort of. I actually don't know what happens. I just know that purple survives. Oh, okay, right here. So this guy launches a full-on assault with nothing but armored cars and rangers. Now, the armored cars were very, very smart for him to do because I had China, and China is really weak to anything that's anti-infantry. But I was smarter than him, and the reason is because I panic a little bit here, but whatever. And the reason is because I use my soldiers to their best ability, and I just ram them into using their explosive and immediately try to go after these armored cars. And I guess he doesn't know about it because he just has basic industrial, and he doesn't know about how China works. So I kept using my soldiers to just constantly just explode into his cars. And again, I'm hurting on food so much throughout this entire ordeal. It was painful for me. Keeps going. Again, he's not pushing, but again, at the same time, it's okay. And right here, he gets smart about what's going on, and like he actually runs away with his armored cars. But again, I'm just using horde tactics. I use militiamen to kick him out. Meanwhile, while that's going on, this guy, you know, these two guys are duking it out over here. We got a Russian and a basic abstract. Again, this guy keeps coming back with armored cars, and he'll eventually come with APCs. And this was really smart of him to do, but he wasn't using his, he wasn't being, like, how should I say this? He wasn't being smart of how he utilized, like, you know, maneuvering his armored cars, because you see, I immediately just used my soldiers and kamikaze them into him. And I eventually do fix my food situation because I do get a bunch of farms here, but again, that's only like, it fixes half the problem, honestly. Again, also I have a heavy problem because as China, I don't have the population upgrade yet, and it was mainly because I was hurting on food. And you're gonna see me have to quit soon, like stop this, because he comes with APCs. Okay. I do try to get, you know, some out the guardsmen in. I do kill some of his workers. I tried, you know, I tried coming over here like 5 different times. And he actually builds all the way over here. Oh, so that's why I couldn't find him. I was wondering. I was like, why can't, you know, why can't I find his workers? They're all the way over there. Okay. I was wondering because I saw this over here, but I didn't know about this, so it probably explains it. Anyway, he brings armored cars, and I get a little bit smarter because I do have an influx of wood and metal. And what's this? I don't know what that was. Anyway, so I go into my armor. So he goes in with his armored cars, and I go in with my soldiers. I use my militiamen to soak up damage, and then eventually, you know, as you can see, I use my soldiers to try and suicide into him. And it does work a lot, although I waste a lot more soldiers trying to take out one armored car. And to be fair, I'd rather waste 10 soldiers for one armored car. Because one armored car, if I just sat here just shooting, a single armored car could have just immediately just destroyed all of my units. Given enough time. And as you see, he tries to pull back, but I know about this area, and you know he gets a lot of his APCs stuck. Meanwhile, his armored cars come over here, and these armored cars did way more damage to me. A few of my workers died, but not too many of them died. Enough did die though to make it really annoying for me. But I got a bunch of militiamen, you know, armored cars again, to try and try to destroy these guys. Again, done. I also build anti-hedgehogs. Try to keep these APCs out just to buy me time because I was really hurting on food. Food was bad for me. And you see, I still have no food whatsoever. And I had to cancel a lot of stuff just to like figure out. I even had to kill like a deer over here. Or you see, I killed this deer, tries to get a little bit of food to get his farm back up. And this time he also, again, he comes with full on APCs and some machine gunners. So he got really smart just using some machine gunners, APCs, and armored cars. But he made a mistake, and as you could see, he right here goes mistake. And we're looking chat, and we say, and Maury says, "Let's go all versus him." I said, "Yep." So And he also said for Russia. Now, the number one thing you never do in free-for-all is get the wonder, especially when there's multiple people on. That is the number one thing you do not do. Because of this, everyone will gang up on you. As you can see, Red is already setting his soldiers over there. And Purple eventually does too. I think he goes all the way around. Meanwhile, I'm struggling because he brings his submachine gunners forward. And I lost a lot of my, I lost basically like all my, defenses here. I didn't have enough food. To build, towers. And had I built towers, I probably could have like focused him more. But he couldn't get his armored cars through here. He eventually brings workers here to bust through, and at this point it gets really hard. But I do survive, luckily. When he busts through, he brings in more armored cars. And you're going to keep seeing that farm pop up on accident because I kept trying to press I to like just try and do a hotkey, but it wasn't working out. Anyway, so I destroyed anyway, he kept going back and forth, but luckily he had soldiers constantly. And I see they said, Xavier, can you kill him? I'm like, no. But the good thing, okay, so I'm going to stop here real quick. So the good thing was I managed to sneak some other guardsmen over here and kill his entire food production, as you can see right here, with the exception of his fishing boats. Which really did help, which probably helped me a lot, because APCs aren't cheap. And you see all my food workers are dying with the exception of these. You see in chat, they're all taking like red, second red talk. And this guy, he's just going in with his APCs ruining me, like completely ruining me. And I think right here, I don't remember. No, never mind. He just sits here with his APCs and armored cars, basically just killing everything. I don't have, like, I moved all my workers over here. I keep spawning soldiers with like every single chance I get, and militiamen to try to like distract them. But at this point, it's like really bad because I do not have the resources. I can't, like, I'm waiting for these things. Like, it takes 18 seconds for them to reserve to show up, and then 2 seconds for them to spawn in. But again, my food situation was just so bad. I just couldn't. And eventually, I do destroy them. I keep going. Right there. Boom. Another one. He kept just trying to destroy my barracks, which it does destroy a few. Problem is, it takes so long for these APCs to destroy his barracks. And luckily, I managed to get enough soldiers. And he brought his APCs too close to my barracks, so I immediately spawned in soldiers and destroyed the APCs. He does try to go again, but this time my food situation really sorts out, and I get, a lot more troops. And you see, he destroys another barracks, but again, I'm getting really annoyed because I need every barracks I can get to spawn soldiers because they're the only ones with bombs to destroy the APCs. Meanwhile, I know something changes around here. I don't remember what does. Let me check chat. Oh, right here. Okay. So this changes. Okay, yeah, I remember. So I had built this foreign supply center. I completely forgot about the foreign supply center, and got a bunch of, you know, light tanks and armored cars. Like, honestly, I completely forgot about the foreign supply center, and right here is when I remembered it. Which really did save me. Now, I did build some AA, and the reason I built AA, because he had a plane. He had built airfields, and I thought he was going, like, mass aerostats or something, but he doesn't. But right here, it really helps because Red comes in with trench mortars and soldiers. Now, it doesn't save him at all because they, as you see, they immediately get wiped. Red does basically nothing to like help besides keep him busy, which probably is what saved me a little bit. But I think as you can see, this guy wasn't paying attention to his eco, like at all. And okay, right here, this is what really does this is what really saves me in the game. So he goes, so purple comes in, as you see, he goes, let's go, and attacks. And right here, he just goes in, wipes blue's eco, essentially. He tries to get his APCs, but APCs are useless against light tanks because they're only anti-infantry. And then, same time, red comes in with his soldiers, which, not a lot. And I come in with my light tanks and armored cars. Full on attack. I just go in. We all go in like headstrong. Right there, and then he quits. I said victory, sort of. This is basically teaming right here. And then red quits. I don't know why red quits. Like, I kind of wanted red to stay alive, but I didn't really care. Red was honestly useless. He only built soldiers the entire time, so oh well. Meanwhile, it was just me and purple. That was it. And I had yet to make it to IR2. Meanwhile, this guy is going to get Wonder soon. He says, you and me, bro. I say, yep. So I start massing my forces. I don't know. I know he's Russia. I know that for a fact. Because he said, let's Russia. He said for Mother Russia. I said, same. I start massing my forces, putting them on the border. I do plan to, get towers up front. But then I just go in full on attack. I want to see what I want to, like, honestly, I didn't expect this attack to fully succeed because I wanted to see what he had. And as he was still pulling some of his forces back, he says, damn you big. And if you look at purple, he has tons of T-34s and rocket launchers. And the rocket launchers is going to be his greatest savior, but also his biggest mistake. So first I had to deal with red's defenses because they were annoying me. But then I saw this hail of, as you saw, I saw this hail of rocket fire. And I knew immediately he did. But I was like, whoa. That's a lot of rocket launchers. So I knew he must have had, like, at least, I thought he had at least 5 of them. But he only has 3, as you see. But he does get more. He does get more later on. You see, he's launching them again. He's actually hitting a lot of his own units. Now, rocket launchers are incredibly inaccurate. And as you see, he hit a lot of his own light tanks for, like, my militiamen and other light tanks, which didn't really do much. I do try to do a sneak attack and send some, what's it called? Mounted guardsmen over to try to, just kill some of his workers and stuff. It doesn't work out because he has a lot of towers, which are all fully upgraded. And you see, they didn't make it that far. Meanwhile, he has tons of light tanks, T-34s. I only have, the Chinese variety of light tanks, which are actually worse. And if I actually look, 80 damage. I don't know that you're seeing damage. 80. 35.5, 35. Okay, so Chinese light tanks are actually the same. However, I do know some of their other units compared in comparison are actually weaker. The armored units at least. Anyway, he goes in with mass light tanks, well, I'm sorry, T-34s and light tanks, and then also rocket launchers. Now the rocket launchers are a big mistake. You should never have more than 2 rocket launchers, and the reason is and 2 reasons. One, they are massively expensive for a single rocket launcher. It's incredibly slow to produce. Second is they take a huge amount of population, like so much population. I think it's 12 or 16 population for a single one. It's just not worth it. Also in chat, he gets the wonder, and I realize I'm on the clock. He says, and I say, you become what you want to destroy. He says, haha, true. And it was true. He wanted to destroy Blue, and then he becomes the wonder. But he gets his wonder. So again, I start massing my troops up. I come over here. I build, more. I build some towers. I spread to get more territory. But also because because I want to keep pushing, and then slowly move my troops up more, up, so that way whenever I spawn troops here, I immediately send them over here. Now I wanted to build more barracks here in the front lines. The major problem was, again, while I wasn't hurting for food and metal, and while I see my metal was decreasing a lot, but I do eventually fix it, my materials were going so bad, and I was wondering, like, why was it so bad? Then I realized it was, one, because I was going China, and also because everything was being produced from the Foreign Supply Center. And the Foreign Supply Center, while it does give really, really cheap units for China, like Chinese armored units, you can spam so many out of them, and they're really cheap. Problem is the sheer amount you need, because, like, you see, it takes 85 seconds for them to for the reserves to go, which isn't long, but then only 12 seconds for them to spawn in. Same with the armored car, 68 and 10. But like, again, I was pouring so much into my Foreign Supply Center, and I only get what is this? I forgot. Britain? No, not Britain. Germany, because Germany is the one here. I only get light tanks and armored cars. I do eventually get Britain, but not till basically the game ends. And I should have invested more in this Foreign Supply Center. I really should have, because had I done that, I could have gotten way more and better units. So I had to strictly rely on militiamen for majority of this fight. And you see, militiamen are not that great. I'm like going after him, and he does more damage to himself. These T-34s are so trying to like destroy this, kill these militiamen, but they end up, they keep hitting the T-34s. You see, look right here. Like, the rocket cannons were doing more damage than my militiamen. Like, he was literally killing himself more than I was. And he says, I attack you. I'm like, eh. Like, yeah, no. So, I have to mask my army up. And this entire fight is just me masking my army up, fight, and then continue on. So we're going to skip time. He brings in more rocket cannons in front. Let's slow down time so I can see the fight. He says, kamikaze. Honestly, yeah, I was relying a lot on my soldiers and light tanks to try to destroy his destroy these T-34s, which are doing a lot of damage. And these rocket cannons, while they weren't doing a lot of damage because they were doing more damage to himself, they were like destroying like large group of militiamen. But I do fix it by getting some mounted guardsmen to the back. I don't get a lot because a lot of them died. But this does help a lot, because when he has a force, he's forced to bring his rocket cannons back and some of his troops back to defend them. Meanwhile, I'm over here destroying, I divided his troops and just was killing off his T-34s. And see, look right here. He's again. That was more damage to himself, if anything. Like these rocket cannons are relentless, but they are indiscriminate. They will kill your men faster than you would kill theirs. Which is, I only ever get like at least 2 rocket cannons. I never get more than 1. I never get more than like 3 because they're so expensive and so slow. They're very effective though when you're doing with like dealing with a siege. Anyway, I deal with them by bringing Mounted Guardsmen back, and he has no defenses here, so I immediately just go on and just wipe him. Oh yeah, I forgot to show over here. I also brought out some Mounted Guardsmen over here and just killed all his workers here. And again, I use my Mounted Guardsmen to kill all his workers, which really, really does help. His economy, I think, plummets, and let me check right now. Okay, so his economy is actually doing really, really good right now. He does get, you know, more T-34s and rocket launchers. Oh, they're called rocket launchers. Why did I keep saying rocket cannons? I think rocket launchers. But actually, look at how much. Oh, no, I'm gonna pause because I'm fighting the militiamen. It doesn't matter. So right here, look how much material. Look how much materials it cost. 1,500, 400 food, and there's 600 metal. That is expensive. Extremely, extremely, extremely expensive. Like, I think T-34s are cheaper, and in my opinion, are way better than a rocket cannon. So a rocket cannon can do, look, 80 damage for a rocket cannon. That's 14 shots they can launch from their salvo. That's a lot. Problem is, they are incredibly inaccurate. They are so inaccurate that it is just really not worth it. They also cost, what population? 10 population for 1. Now keep in mind, this guy is Russia. He doesn't have the traditions of large families, which I do believe Russia should have. I think Russia deserves the tradition of large families. But at the same time, I think that would be overpowered because they have a lot of armored units. Anyway, he's producing way more rocket launchers than he should. And T-34s, again, expensive. IS-2s, their metal cost is butcher. But again, in my opinion, IS-2 is kind of worth it. Although I prefer the T-34, honestly. The T-34, in my opinion, is way better than the IS-2, despite the IS-2 being a better tank. Anyway, I mass attack with my armored cars and other units. I get grenade launchers to really, and they really do help. Grenade launchers, despite only having a few of them, they really do help a lot. I come over here, I kill all of his workers, which was really good. Now I don't think he has any more workers, honestly. Okay, so he does have a lot of workers over here, which I didn't see. Although they're being killed by a boar. He says that a tiger killed all his workers. Oh yeah, they do. Okay. Anyway, I get some grenade launchers, which really do help. They're quite inaccurate, but they are way more better than whatever I was sending in before. I get more from the Foreign Supply Center. I'm spamming out tanks and stuff from the Foreign Supply Center. I send more Mounted Guardsmen over there. These, again, I try to, circle around into his base. Doesn't work out the way I want it to. But my economy does really pick up a lot, because I get way more food, because I do build another rice farm, get more workers on the rice. And I think I can see, I have a lot of workers, 99, another 14 constructing. And he gets flamer tanks, which was really, really smart of him. These flamethrower tanks are just really good against China, but however, I realized this. I was like, you know what, I'm not having it. And I just immediately just kamikaze into them. Really effective. Also right here, so he says later that the tiger kill all his workers. Yeah, they do. The tiger kills, like, there's a tiger and a boar that kills all his workers. And he doesn't realize. Meanwhile, I'm pushing. I'm slowly inching towards him. Like, it's really hard for me because I'm constantly just pushing and pushing and pushing more and more because I have to push. And see, his economy is dropping fast. He had 10k. Or at least, yeah, around 10k. And his economy is just dropping so fast for him. Meanwhile, my economy is not doing too well either, actually. My economy was actually doing really bad. Now, I did have a nice tree line and stuff, but I was producing, like, way more than I could actually withstand. So, I ended up having to, like, rely on a lot on militiamen, honestly, throughout the entire fight. Militiamen was, like, most of my units. I just realized he kills a lot of my grenade launchers. I didn't even realize this. Man, that's a lot of grenade launchers that just died. I didn't even realize. Anyway, I realized this. I immediately bring some mounted guardsmen over here trying to, like, you know, kill these guys. Luckily, I have a lot more grenade launchers coming in. Oh, yeah, right here. So this point, like, I only have 9 minutes on the clock, and I really do believe he might win. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do a full-on scale assault with everything I got. I get tons of units. Like, I mass them up. I get way more coming in too. And I launch my attack. This one's like a full, like, all or nothing attack. I launch it right here. I also brings my mounted guardsmen to the back over here, try to take out his rocket launchers. He has a death scythe, which I don't know why he made one, but I guess it was something he needed to. Anyway, he builds more. As you see, he has no. Yep, he has no wood, and it's mainly because his wood workers all died from a tiger who now has 21 kills. Yeah, his economy is just in shambles at this point. My economy, while not doing too great, it does pick up. You see, he picks up a lot. I get everything I can. I pour through. I can't breach it. I pour through. I try to destroy his factory as fast as possible with my soldiers. I try to destroy them as fast as possible with my soldiers. I just kamikaze into them. He says, bro, you're a king today. King today. And I was like, yep, basically, he called me the king. I was doing great. I said, look at the leaderboard when the game ends. Now, at this point in the video, when I'm recording, I'm second place in the leaderboards, which is really good. Although, we'll say it's getting hard, honestly, the leaderboard. This one tiger killed all my homies. Now I got no wood. Yep, one tiger did kill all his homies. So right here, yep, I basically win. I destroy his wonder. And I finally win the match. It was hard. I was attacked on all sides. I had no resources, but still I pushed through despite all odds. I kept pushing. Now some people might say these, these are noobs or whatever, but then I would say most of them were noobs, not all of them. This guy, had I attacked him early, I could have killed him. I had to take this guy early. I could have killed him. This guy probably would have made the guy who was here would have made it much. Would have been much more difficult had I let him had I let him get to industrial. Because had I let him get to industrial, I don't think I probably could have won. This guy really did, you know. He had a massive army of T-34s. Problem is, when it comes to who would win between Russia and China, Russia would always win. But the problem this guy Purple did was the fact that he put so much into his rocket launchers, which each cost 10 population. I think at the most he had like I think around 5 at most. Now that's 50 population right there. And when you're when you're counting that, that's 50 population. So the max Russia can get is 250. And if an industrial requires around, I would say at least 75, but most players would recommend you need at least 100 workers being at one time. But actually no, we use 75, between 75 and 100. So 75 and 100, and then you add another 50 on top of that. That's 150. And then the T-34s themselves, those things cost around 6 population, and that many. And you see he had most like 10 T-34s. Not great at all. Really just not great. Like, he shouldn't have that many rocket launchers. While he did, it was smart for him to T-34s. He should have immediately swapped over to some machine gunners and T-34s. He should have used the submachine gunners, take out my infantry, and then the T-34s take out the tanks. Also, I need to make a free-for-all video, like a strategy video for free-for-all. Never build walls. Like, don't build walls like this. Just don't. Like, this guy tried it. This guy tried it. Just don't build walls in free-for-all. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and I will see you all next time.